What is happening, Trainer Trio fam? This is Poke Trainer Chris. I'm doing a little bonus content here after our first season. And if you're watching this and you haven't listened to our podcast, listening wherever podcasts are available, please go back and watch our first season. We're the Trainer Trio. We're three friends playing through each Pokemon generation and recounting stories and experiences. And we just finished playing the first generation of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. I had the luxury of being able to use actual hardware, and I have a Game Boy player for the GameCube back at home. On top of that, about 3 or 4 years ago, I bought an Elgato capture card, and I have never used it. So finally, I decided to capture my footage so we can have a little bonus content for the pod. So this is going to be an episode reacting to my Elite Four battle. So I say let's just jump into it. This is going to be completely unscripted. I've never done stuff like this before, so there might be a little stumbling. I'm going to try and do some minimal editing just so it doesn't sound horrible, but let's go into my entire Elite Four battle. Little Game Freak logo there. All right, for those who didn't know, I was playing Pokemon Blue. We're going to play. It took me about 32 hours to get to this point. And let me tell you, I was so hyped and so excited to get into this. From here on, you face the Elite Four one by one. If you win, a door opens to the next trainer. Good luck. I tried seeing if there was anything in those, but it says sale, but what could be for sale? So here's a strategy I did right before I faced the Elite Four. I kept all of my rare candies for a specific reason, because the longer or the higher level your Pokemon get, the harder it is to level them up. So rare candies essentially become way more valuable and time saving later on in a Pokemon's life. And so I knew that Nessie, my Lapras, was going to be my most valuable Pokemon. So I leveled it up to level 55 because it was under-leveled there at first. So with Pokemon in the level 50s around there, let's jump into it with Lorelei. And for those who don't know, I had to try this out. I heard that you could surf around the room here. So yeah, of course I was going to surf in Lorelei's room. Not only that, they also programmed the statue to be swimmable. So I tested that out to see if it was true too. It is. Welcome to the Pokemon League. I am Lorelei of the Elite Four. No one can beat me when it comes to my Pokemon. Oh wow, I scrolled through this way too quickly. So here we go, facing off against the first Elite Four member, Lorelei. She sends out a Dugong, a Water-Ice Pokemon at level 54. I start with Ave, the Jolteon, and I'm going to start with Thunderbolt here because it is a super effective stab move against Dugong. I really tried to get it to get to low health, but the way the AI works, it's going to use a super potion even when it gets into red. Although, like, if it was playing by the same rules that we would, you wouldn't know that you'd get down to red health by then. Next up is Cloyster. I'm going to try out the same strategy, but Cloyster has really high defense, so I know this would have been difficult. And I luck out with the critical hit. Ave coming in clutch here. Next out is Slowbro. This is just a water Pokemon, I believe. Definitely a very high special defense, though. Doesn't matter. I take it down in one shot. Ave is coming in clutch. Now it's Jinx. This is not a water Pokemon. This is Ice. Ice Psychic. So I'm going to use the double kick here because fighting moves are super effective against Ice. Ave's regular attack stat is not that high, you can't tell. But Lorelei here using Double Slap, and she considers herself a member of the Elite Four. I switch back to Thunderbolt just to see if it's a higher power move that it'll do a lot more. And it looks like it did a little more, but nothing huge. Of course she gets the lucky critical on Ice Punch. Of course. Ave was sweeping this battle. Oh, and I get the critical right when it doesn't matter. Ave grew to level 51. So now Lorelei's going to send out her own Lapras. Her Lapras is level 56, even stronger than my Lapras. It's a water ice Pokemon as well. It is quite strong. And that's why I picked it up for my team. Naturally, the Body Slam takes down Ave. So, I only have a little bit left to do. I bring in Purdy because Purdy is my fastest Pokemon. And it knows Hyper Beam. Yeah. If you guys don't know, Hyper Beam is 150 power, and I get same type attack bonus with Purdy, so Lorelei stood no chance. You're better than I thought. Go on ahead. You only got a taste of the Pokemon League power. That's crazy. We went the whole battle almost all with Ave, and then went ahead with finishing it off with Purdy. So not too bad. I used my Max Revive here just to revive Ave for the next battle. Normally, I don't use Max Revives because those are items you cannot buy in stores, but I figured in this case, this is kind of the end of the game for me. This was meant for the podcast, and there was not much more to do after this except the last Pokemon in Cerulean Cave. I was forgetting here who to start with. This was kind of bad. I did not look this up ahead of time. So I'm starting with Nessie because I know that Bruno here is a mixture of rock and fighting Pokemon. And I could not remember which Pokemon he starts with. So there's Bruno. And he starts out with Onix. Onix is a rock ground type. I started off correctly by sending out Nessie. Nessie has Surf, obviously a 95 power move with same type attack bonus. Onix has no special defense whatsoever. Plus, that was a quad weakness to a stab move. That was 6 times 95. That was a... what is that? 570 power move? Something like that. I switch out Nessie for Greg the Executor, who now knows Psychic, who can take down his Pokemon easily. If you can't tell, I was playing this game on Switch mode, which means you can switch your Pokemon after you defeat your opponent's Pokemon. This is technically the easy mode, so I definitely lucked out by being able to switch. That is something that we will be changing in the next couple seasons. Use a Psychic there. Hitmonlee has no chance whatsoever. I'm going to switch back out to Nessie. Gotta be honest, I don't know what I was thinking there. Why I thought, oh, maybe I'll throw in another Pokemon. Why do it? Literally, this is a one-shot. Onix is sent down. That just leaves his master Pokemon, Machamp. I'm going to bring in Greg to see if he can one-shot the level 58 Machamp. I'm 8 Machamp. I am 8 levels below it, but this is a super effective stab Psychic and takes it down in one shot, thus beating Bruno. Did I even take any damage there? I don't think I did. So we move on. Next up is Agatha. She is the ghost type specialist, although people have considered her more of the creature type specialist, and you'll see that with some of the Pokemon she sends out. It's not just ghost types, because there was only one ghost type line in Gen 1, so there was only so much she could do with that, and she maxes it out, let me tell you. So Agatha wants to fight. She starts with Gengar. She starts with a fully evolved level 56 Pokemon. I start with Sandy the Sandslash, and I have no idea why the AI uses Dream Eater there. I use Earthquake because at this point, Gengar does not have the ability Levitate, as abilities were not introduced until Generation 3, so it is super effective. So you can see here, she has a Golbat. So that's not a ghost type Pokemon, but you think about it, she has ghost types. And she has creatures, like a bat. Oh my gosh. Golbat's Gen 1 sprite is priceless. I switch out to Ave because Thunderbolt will be super effective against Golbat. And it's a one-shot. She's going to go back to her Ghastly line, sends out Haunter. And I wonder why the devs decided to do this. Why they decided to give her Gengar and Haunter. Like, just throw out 3 Gengars if you're going to do it. There's no reason to have a weaker Gengar out there. Oh my. Agatha's not looking too good, is she? Get the critical hit, not like it matters. So it brings out Arbok. So I mentioned creatures. This is a big snake, so you can think of her of having... Oh. She paralyzes me. I was saying you could think of her as having snakes, bats, and ghost-type Pokemon. Ooh, luckily, the paralysis did not hurt there. One-shot Arbok. Bringing out her last Gengar. Level 60. I mean, look at that. The level spike in this game is crazy. You were fighting Pokemon in the 40s not too long ago, maybe low 50s, and now we already have a level 60 Pokemon in the 3rd Elite Four battle. Sandy grows level 51, and Agatha is defeated. I do not think I took any damage again, just paralysis. Obviously, we're going to heal up Sandy there. Probably, if you listen to the podcast episode where we recounted our stories, Poketrainer Sean talked about Agatha's connection to Professor Oak. And there's a theory that the opening battle you see is Agatha's Pokemon versus Professor Oak's Pokemon. Who knows if it's true, but shout out to Sean for showing out for spreading that theory. So here we got the final member of the Elite Four, Lance, the Dragon Trainer. I like how they're really trying to fake you out there, saying your league challenge ends with me. Although anyone who's played Pokemon knows that's not the case. So she starts with a Gyarados, and I start with Nessie for reasons that he's a Dragon-type trainer. And my Nessie knows ice moves, where it has a weakness to. But I decide to switch back out to Ave because Gyarados has a quad weakness to electric moves. Excuse me. Plus same type attack bonus. That is another 90 power move that is up to 6 times. Brings out Dragonair level 56. Kind of doesn't make sense there. Dragonair can evolve at level 55, so why would you not just evolve it to Dragonite, one of the strongest Pokemon in the game? Ooh. Critical hit Blizzard, and for those who don't know, Blizzard is 90% accurate in Gen 1. So this is an extremely overpowered move that I can just keep spamming. Leave 120 power. Super effective, same type attack bonus. These Dragonairs do not stand any chance. Aerodactyl. So as you can see, he's a Dragon-type trainer, but like Agatha, there was only one Dragon-type line. There was just the Dragonite line. So he's going to have 2 Dragonairs and a Dragonite. But then he also needs Dragon-type looking Pokemon, and that's where you get Gyarados. Ooh. It's the first time I've taken damage in a long time. Aerodactyl's a rock-type Pokemon, so Surf is kind of the way to go here. Alright, he brings out the all-powerful Dragonite. The first time you face against a Dragonite all game, level 62. Unfortunately, Dragonite adds a flying type along with its dragon type, which is also weak to ice. So that is a quad weakness to ice. And we did it! We beat the Elite Four! You are the Pokemon Master. I still can't believe my dragons lost to you, Big C. You are now the Pokemon League champion. Or you would have been, but you have one more challenge ahead. You have to face another trainer. His name is Poo Poo. Yeah, you can tell that I'm a 5-year-old when it comes to naming my rival. So you can tell we've been sweeping. We have not had a Pokemon faint since the first fight with Lorelei having Ave the Jolteon faint. So now you get to face off against the champion who will always be your rival, which I think, to this day, this is one of the best champions that they've had in Pokemon history. It is such a classic story, and who would have seen this coming as a kid? That everyone talks about the Elite Four, and this is the champion that they never mention. So a full team of 6, a varied team that is all in the 60s. And Poo Poo gets his own special theme here. This is just the pinnacle of Gen 1 Pokemon. This is so exciting. 10 levels under leveled. I start with a Thunderbolt, and it's just enough to get rid of his Pidgeot. Next, it goes to Alakazam. So his Pokemon are no pushover here. I bring up Purdy for the simple reason of Alakazam might have great special, but its regular defense is pretty weak. So I'm trying to see if I can take it down with a Hyper Beam, which, there we go. Next he has Rhydon, which, Rhydon is such a strong Pokemon, but its quad weakness to water and grass just hinder it so badly. I mean, everyone's going to have a water type because you need to surf in this region. Plus, Squirtle, there's a 1/3 chance that you have a water type on your team from the beginning. So unfortunately, Rhydon doesn't stand a chance. I think that he could have done a better job with his Pokemon selection there. I would say our champion's signature Pokemon here is Arcanine, level 61. Like, when you think of blue, you think of Arcanine. Or at least I do. But maybe that's also because of the anime. Take it down with one Surf. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Poo Poo can stand much of a chance here. So I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about keeping out Nessie to use Blizzard because it's weak. But I decide we gotta bring Char out. I think this is the first time we've seen him. Oh, a critical hit Fire Blast, and it is still not enough. And it uses Hypnosis. And guys, I'm gonna do something I'm not proud of. I'm gonna use the full heal. And the only reason I did that, which I explained on podcast, of course, Hypnosis hits again. What is the chance of that? Like, ugh. The only reason I decided to use the full heal twice in this matter was because he was already down to his last 2 Pokemon. So, yeah, I could have let Charizard die. But, I was kind of in a hurry here. I didn't want to drag out the fight. If that actually would have mattered and it would have made a difference, I probably wouldn't have done it. But because I had all my Pokemon left, I just used the full heal to speed up the game. Alright, he brings out the strongest Pokemon in the game, level 65 Blastoise. I bring out a level 50 Purdy. 50 levels under leveled. I'm going to start with Thunder. It does a critical hit. Purdy's a very fast Pokemon, and critical hits are based on speed in Gen 1, luckily. Let's finish it off with Hyper Beam. And that's it. Purdy grows to level 51. So, most of my Pokemon were able to get a little bit of showtime here in the Elite Four. It's kind of sad that my Charizard really didn't get a chance to shine, but I'm really proud of the team that I assembled and their versatility against the Elite Four. No, that can't be. You beat my best. After all that work to become the league champ, my reign is already over? It's not fair. Why did I lose? I never made any mistakes raising my Pokemon. And then here it comes. You get the slow down Pallet Town theme. Do do do. Well, anyways, that was my experience facing the Elite Four. I got my Pokemon all up to level 50, and then used a bunch of rare candies to get my Lapras up to level 55. And if you can get your Pokemon up to about the 50s, I mean, you should really have no trouble facing the Elite Four, especially if you have a diverse team. I mean, we lost only one Pokemon on the very first fight, and I didn't have to either. I could have switched out or done other ways to prevent it. I just figured, who cares? And we didn't even use any items there until the very, very end, using that full heal, but yet again, not like that made a huge difference. So lastly, let's go look at the Hall of Fame and see what my Pokemon ended up as. Number 1, Ave the Jolteon, level 51. Got Ave as a little Eevee, trained her up. Char the Charizard, level 50, the starter that carried me through the entire game. Purdy the Persian, level 51. I was the normal trainer in Generation 1, so of course I had to specialize in my Purdy. Sandy the Sandslash, which came in clutch against Agatha. Ground types really have their niche here, especially with Earthquake. Greg the Executor at level 50, arguably one of my strongest Pokemon during my playthrough. Of course, Nessie the Lapras at level 56. Just water ice carrying the Elite Four. And there I am, Big C. Took me 32 hours and 18 minutes. I caught 138 Pokemon, caught 98 Pokemon, and saw 138. And that's it. That is the end of my Pokemon journey here. So, thank you everyone who watched this special bonus episode of me showing off my Elite Four battles. I had a lot of fun recording that, and I've had a lot of fun commentating over that. Look out for more content in the future, and I hope to do this again in Generation 2. Catch you guys in the Johto region.